Hello again, Andy at Handy Andy, and welcome back to yet another Handy Andy video. Hopefully you can learn something from it. Some of these videos, in this case, this is a homeowner who's called us out to bid a number of repairs on a property that he purchased. And this was a great buy for him and his family. This was a bank-owned property, so they bought it knowing that they had to make repairs. But as he said to me, it's been an absolute nightmare trying to get contractors to come out here and bid this thing. You know, they set appointments, they never show up, or they can only do part of the work. This particular owner is looking for a contractor who can do everything, which is pretty much what we do in terms of paint, repairs, and maintenance. And sometimes these videos are used by other contractors to give a homeowner like this a bid. That does happen. But usually homeowners tend to go with us. But here's what we're going to look at here today. I'm a fourth generation contractor. You're welcome to look at a lot of videos we have online. If there's something you want to see or you have a question, ask me. I really don't care if you're working with another contractor. Good for you. If we can help you, we will. Just be patient. We're super busy. I'm at 770-912-2829. And we're looking at here is a home that was built, somewhere probably around 10 years ago, sometime in 2000, early 2000. And it was built fast. They voided, this is a hardy plank sided house. They voided the hardy plank warranty by face nailing everything. And they didn't caulk anything. So the risk there is, and we get in this argument, I just had somebody tell me the other day that hardy plank says you can't caulk their butt joints and you shouldn't do that. I understand all that, and that's great that that's what their stuff says online. I'm out here in the field. I'm a fourth generation contractor. My name is on this job, and we repaint this house. What's going to happen here is we're going to first prime, one coat of primer on all the trim, hand painted. We're going to put one coat of Sherwin-Williams Duration, which is the best paint in America as far as I'm concerned. So the trim will have 2 coats hand applied. The siding will be spray painted with 1 or 2 coats of Duration again. All these butt joints where 2 pieces of siding come together, you see these dark lines. These have never, ever, ever been caulked. They were sealed with paint. They did a terrible job on the face nailing. Some of these nails, we're going to try and tap them in a little bit further. You can see here on these windows, builder grade windows, but you see how they never caulked any of the molding. So all that stuff is rotted out. Your left molding, your right molding. We'll give him a comprehensive bid. And what's going on with projects like this is that we'll come in and we'll line everything out, line by line bid on everything. So if he wants to do a few things now and budget for later, he can do that. Or if he wants to, we'll package the whole thing at a significant discount to do the whole job in one shot. Obviously, Handy Andy can do things a little bit cheaper, and those discounts can range from 5 to 25% because we're doing the whole package and my crew is here in one shot instead of having to come back and forth. This job is out in Dacula. So if you're in that area, we travel all over Metro Atlanta, and we'll show you some interesting things on this house also for the homeowner. You've got these caps which are really nice and decorative at some of the, like the garage door here and some of these windows, but you'll notice that they're laying almost flat horizontally, and so they're trapping water behind, which is going to rot the framing, everything behind it, and rot that top cap. So we'll actually replace those caps. We'll spot repair. We see this all the time. This is a dog ear right here, this triangle piece. And you can see the line in it that was never caulked where they pieced together a 1x6 to make that 1x8 triangle instead of just buying a 1x8 board because it costs more money. We'll go ahead and replace that triangle. Again, we call those dog ears. There's one on the left here, there's one on the right over here, and there's another one on the left corner that we'll get to in a minute. We'll clean the gutters. They haven't been cleaned. They do have 3x4 downspouts, and they do have a 5-inch gutter up there, which we prefer 6, but it's okay. We'll get the debris out of here. It's a great idea when you're a homeowner to just walk your house once a year and look for some of the black on the house. And you'll see up here in a second, he's missing a shingle right up in here. So we'll go ahead and replace that for him. On the right-hand side of the house, he's got a torn ridge shingle. We'll show you that when we get over there. But he's really catching this at a good time. If he doesn't go ahead and caulk and paint this thing up this year, he'll have a lot more rotted wood all over the house. It takes us a minute to replace these kind of boards right here. You got this bottom brick mold right here, and all it was caulk. And the problem is twofold. This stuff is all finger jointed with pieces, so it's not caulked and sealed. That moisture gets in there and just rots it right out. These shutters were actually spray painted when they were put up. They'll need to be cleaned, properly primed, and repainted. Sherwin-Williams, if you've seen one of my other videos, has a great product called an adhesion primer. You can tint it. It's not cheap. It's probably about $65 a gallon. Retail, but it's a great product. It's the only product we've come across that will help us do what we do with these vinyl shutters. And we will get calls on the warranty. There's a 10-year warranty on this job. and chances are we'll get a call back on these shutters, but because we do everything, we'll come back for the warranty call because this homeowner will have us do something else, fix something, repair something, hang lights, paint, whatever it might be. You can see this inside corner board has never been caulked. So you're looking at a 10-year-old home that's never been caulked and sealed. Same thing here with this piece of Z-flashing under here at the bottom. It's never been sealed. So in this corner right here, whenever we get a heavy rain, there's a chip in the brick and the water directs right underneath that flashing. And unfortunately, when that happens, because you've got a brick veneer, if this house isn't treated for termites, the moisture will draw termite activity behind this brick veneer, and at some point you'll see damage in that framing. This is interesting, and we see this a lot in Atlanta. First time I'm getting a chance to video it. These are 2 entry columns that the builder built out. And what happened with the builders, and I'm not going to name who this was, they may not even be in business anymore with today's economy, but this stuff was built with MDF. MDF should never be used on the exterior of a house. I don't care what anybody says. And if you are going to use it, MDF is basically cardboard. You can see it right here where we've peeled it back a little bit. You see this? That's just cardboard. So the whole thing is swelled. You can see the layers in it. So we'll actually go ahead and recase, rebox this with 1x8s cut and redone on both sides. You can see kind of how it's starting to separate. I don't know if it'll pick it up in the camera, but see the shadowing? And then they even pieced it in down here. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But a lot of builders went with the cheapest guys out here. And obviously, whatever money they can save in building these properties out, it goes into their pocket as profit. We got an arch window up here, and you can kind of see the shadowing around the top of the arch and down the sides. This brick gets a lot of heat, just like hardy plank. Hardy plank is concrete, has a very high radiant heat index. So with the wrong paints, it'll literally bake the paint and caulk right off the house. We use Max Flex caulk, which used to be a Duron product. It's available at Sherwin-Williams. Best caulk in America as far as I'm concerned. I've only had 1 or 2 problems with that and using that property, or that caulk for about 15 years now. You can't see it in the video right here, but the bottom brick mold in this window is rotted. We'll go ahead and replace that. Come around the side, you get similar issues. This is the left front window. You can see all the trim is rotted. We'll go ahead and repair all that stuff. You got some rot in the second floor window in the left corner and the bottom. We'll repair all that stuff. Check your gutters. And when you're looking around the house, I don't know if the camera's going to catch it or not here, but you can see this bottom corner right here. You'll see where that corner, the caulk has failed. So you'll see that black line right there? That's what I want you to look for as a homeowner, because that's the stuff that's going to cost you money and make Handy Andy money. And honestly, I'd rather see you direct that money towards a meal out with the family than paying us. But at least when you know, when you hire Handy Andy, you're going to get a great job. It's going to be warranted, and I'm going to be standing here to guarantee it personally. Here's that left front dog ear, and you can see where it was never caulked, and then the bottom piece is rotted out. So we'll go ahead and repair and replace that. The rest of the siding, you can see it's never been caulked. And when you wipe your hand on siding like this, you can normally tell. It may not show on my hand as well, but my hand is the color of the siding now. Once that shows up on your hand, that lets you know that, hey, I need to repaint my house because the paint film has failed. Now, hardy plank siding is not as crucial because it's not going to rot. It's 7 or 8 layers of compressed concrete. It's an awesome product. But if that moisture is getting inside, behind, like where all these failed butt joints were never caulked and sealed, you're going to get dry rot inside the framing, you're going to get molding, you're going to get all kinds of issues. You can see the state of the gutters back here, completely clogged. This downspout is definitely clogged. The chimney cap already needs to be repainted. You can see where it's starting to rust out, but the framing all the way around that cap sits on is completely rotted out. Whenever we're replacing wood, or any contractor you're having replace wood, watch the process. Make sure they back prime every edge of that replacement wood. If they do so, chances are you'll never have to replace it again. And that's how we do it. I've been doing it that way since I've been on jobs since I was 5 years old. I'm a 4th generation contractor. I'm doing a lot of this stuff the same way my granddaddy taught my daddy and my daddy taught me. And you know, and I'm open to learning stuff too. So if you see something I'm doing wrong, let me know. You can see this trim board here, the angle of that cut is a little bit off. Excuse me. This was an addition that the previous homeowner just kind of wanted to create a little garden spot. And you can see he never capped this thing off, and the sheathing behind it, it's wafer board. So it's gotten moisture. We're just going to cap that off, clean it up, finish it off for the homeowner. This again is a piece of MDF. I don't know why anybody would use it on the exterior. So we'll replace that piece as well. And for some reason, when he built this wall out, he decided to bump this gutter out So we'll cut in up here and put a B elbow right here that'll kind of give it a little curve and drop it straight back down to that drain pipe. Kind of a cool property. It's really nice. And they've got a little garden area over here. I don't know what he's planning to do with that. This deck right here, we do decks. We'll come in here and go ahead and pressure wash it and then restain it. One coat of stain. Pretty basic process, but it does, you know, we pressure wash and then we let it sit for a few days to dry back out, and then we'll restain it. We get this question all the time. What do you use on decks? You know, typically we recommend Woolman or Flood products. Sherwin-Williams makes a product called Deckmate, which is pretty good. You know, can't really go wrong. There's nothing you're going to do in Atlanta in our market where it's going to hold up forever. So you're every 2 years, if you want to keep the wood, you need to come back and plan to redo this. We'll do it the first time. The homeowner will be able to do it himself the second time. This is just a piece of dog chewed trim up here. Nothing was ever caulked. So when we come in, we'll caulk all these trim boards on the door. We have similar issues that you've seen on flashing. Right here, water's getting in here every time it rains to cut the flashing short. We've actually started sealing these projects now. When we finish painting, we'll come back in and seal those edges of the flashing with a clear elastomeric roof sealant. Trick with that stuff is it's not paintable, but it holds up for 30, 40 years. I mean, it's a great product. I've been using it for 15, 16 years now here in Atlanta. If you have questions or issues, give us a call. I'm at 770-912-2829. I may not have the answer, but if I do, I'll certainly help you any way I can. Handy Andy does any kind of repair, maintenance, or interior, exterior painting. If it's a bigger project, we're happy to refer you to folks that we've known for years. I've been an active real estate broker, contractor, and real estate investor here in Atlanta for 16 years, so I know a little bit of something, and happy to help you if we can. You can find us online at HandyANDYHome.com. You can also find us on HomeTalk.com, where we are a featured contractor. And again, we're at 770-912-2829. Have a handy Andy day, and we'll see you at the next house. Bye-bye.